Ken Hayes. Today's guest is the Executive Director of Cleantech Open, the oldest and largest business accelerator for clean tech and climate tech startups. Founded in 2005, it works with over 100 companies per year, consisting of about 250 entrepreneurs. Ken will share insights about his work and his superpower. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. Welcome to the Superpowers for Good show, where we empower you. Ken, welcome. So glad to have you. It's just a thrill to connect.
Devin, thank you for the opportunity. I was excited to get your outreach and give a chance to tell about Cleantech Open and my story. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you are doing truly amazing work. Tell us about this. I mean, you've helped, am I getting this right? Over 1,000 companies, thousands of entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. Over the years. And it's been going since about 2005. Tell us about this amazing Cleantech Open.
Well, yes, Cleantech Open is a business accelerator. And as you say, it started in 2005. I joined the organization in 2017, but it's been going on for quite a while. And we're the oldest, and we believe also the largest business accelerator in the clean tech climate space. And it was really founded to serve a need, a gap in the market, which is where you have early stage entrepreneurs who are doing really innovative new technologies that are really meant to improve the world and our life in the world through the environment. And then the ability to scale and grow and become commercial successes. It's really tough as an entrepreneur to be in that gap. And Cleantech Open was founded as an organization which would help those entrepreneurs level up their business skills, become better business people, and ultimately create more sustainable businesses. Because if a business is not successful commercially, it won't also be able to succeed in the environmental realm. And so that's really the positive mission. In short, we like to say we like to find, fund, and foster really innovative technologies that are going to make the world a better place for all of us to live in. And it's a great mission. We have actually over 1,900 companies have gone through Cleantech Open, through the accelerator in these years. We work with about 100 companies a year. We match them to business mentors. So we have over 1,000 volunteers. These are business people that volunteer their time. And so we're one big community and working together to try to help these entrepreneurs become successful.
It really is an amazing thing that you're doing, and you start thinking about the accumulating impact. I'm sure it could be measured on all kinds of fronts, but the carbon emissions reduced by the technologies you've backed has got to be beginning to compound almost on a daily basis as technology scale, grow, and spread, right?
Yeah, I think but if you talk to experts in the field, it's very, very challenging to actually to measure, carbon reduction, carbon sequestration. A lot of those technologies still, after a number of years, are still in very early stages in terms of really affecting the climate at large scale. So the way we look at Cleantech Open is we are the primordial swamp of innovation. You think of each one of these entrepreneurs and their startups as kind of a creature that's bubbling up out of the swamp. We get them onto the log that then gets them to the shore where they can begin to crawl and then walk and then run. So we're working with these companies at the very, very earliest stages. The companies that went through Cleantech Open 10 years ago are now at significant commercial scale, but it's a long, hard journey. We got to be honest for climate and clean tech entrepreneurs. And so we try to give them encouragement, but we're also very realistic. We tell them it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It could be easier to make some flashy game app that you sell on the Apple Store. But these are entrepreneurs that are really dedicated to becoming successful and making the world a better place at the same time, and that's what we're trying to support.
Yeah. In your last cohort, and let's step back. I think, and tell me how this works, but I think there's an element of competition in each cohort, in that one may receive a recognition or some money. And tell us how that works.
Sure. So, in the early days of Cleantech Open, it started out as a business plan competition and a pitch competition. And the organizers back then realized that really these entrepreneurs needed more help and assistance than just the opportunity to pitch for a prize. And if you think about a competition, there's often one winner that gets all the money. Well, what about the other 99 companies that participated? So the organization kind of transformed over the years, where we really emphasize the acceleration phase, which is a 4 to 5 month process where these entrepreneurs go through. They do workshops, they go through education, they participate in showcasing, they work with their mentors, they're doing mock judging in terms of pitch competitions. So they're really learning how to improve their business. And then we still now have the competition, but that's at the end of the program. So the consequence is we may only have one grand prize winner in the United States, but all the companies who've gone through the program have benefited from 4 to 5 months of acceleration. So all of those entrepreneurs are benefiting, and whether their venture necessarily is successful or not, they all have leveled up their skills and will become better entrepreneurs in the future in their next venture. And so we really transitioned from having like one winner who gets all the prizes to really making sure every company and entrepreneur going through our program benefits and improves their skills and their knowledge of the ecosystem, their networking, their knowledge of their other professionals, the funders. I mean, we're really about building the ecosystem and giving these entrepreneurs a window to the world.
Yeah, it's really a great model. Your last winner was Renegade Plastics, right? Can you tell us just a little bit about Renegade?
Yeah, so Renegade was founded by longtime entrepreneur in Colorado who's had a number of businesses, and realized that the plastics they were working with were not, first of all, they were not recyclable or sustainable, and was looking around for another formulation, found that, and has further developed that into an actual product and market. And when they went through Cleantech Open and then went through our competition phase, they ended up as our national winner. And we hope that they gain a lot of success from that. But in their particular case, it's about finding different formulations of plastics that are both recyclable and can also be created from past products and ingredients, so that we're really creating more of a circular economy. We're not throwing things in landfill and all, but we're able to recycle and upcycle old products to become new products and be used in different ways.
Yeah, that is really cool. And there were a number of other companies. I'm trying to recall. It seems to me that the runner-up was Verde Technologies. Can you tell us anything about Verde?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would encourage people to go to our homepage, cleantechopen.org, and they can find descriptions about all of these companies. So we had about 100 companies go through the program this year, and they're all doing pretty amazing things. So let me. I don't know if I can share. Can I share a link in the chat here, or is that something that you can share later too?
Yeah. Why don't you just share it with me afterward, and we'll add this into the show notes so that people have that as a reference.
Good. I think what I would like to do is have our viewers go to Cleantech Open, see the variety of companies that we have. We have companies across 8 categories. energy generation, energy storage, energy efficiency, transportation, the built environment, ag, water, waste, chemicals and advanced materials, and information and communications technologies. So there's a lot of companies to check out.
Yeah, well, it really is kind of an exciting thing to just take a look. As I was browsing, I was doing exactly what you recommend people do, right? Take a look at some of the companies that have gone through the program, and it really is exciting. They're doing things that I couldn't have imagined, and so very, very cool stuff.
You did ask about Verity, and I don't want to deny them, because they're also a really good company. They actually won the People's Choice Award, as well as being runner up in our finals. And they worked on they created a technology to do thin film solar panels that could fit on a roof, that are both lighter and don't require. It's more like a film rather than actually a unit that would be mounted, and it has a lot more flexibility in terms of the kinds of buildings it can be installed on. And think of like roofs that might have curvy surfaces or things like that. And they presented really well, because, more and more we're learning about putting solar panels. It's becoming more economical to put solar panels on our homes and buildings, but there's still a long way to go. There's a lot of buildings where traditional panels don't fit. And so a company like that does, is really kind of innovated in making that technology come out. But like I said, between Renegade Plastics, Verity Technologies, those are great examples. But we have many, many more that you can see on our website that are also growing and looking for customers, for investors, for partners throughout the world.
Yeah, it really is exciting. As I was browsing some of those companies, just to see the cool tech that they're developing, and the promise that portends for a sort of a prosperous, clean future. I think folks sometimes worry that we can't have nice things in a clean, sustainable future, and these technologies are the evidence that in fact there can be a prosperous, comfortable world that is sustainable. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, and I think we've all in the last few years become more attuned and aware of the fact that the people in our society who are at most risk or have to suffer the most from bad environmental practices. Think of pollution or auto pollution, other people that live near highways and things like that, in many cases are from underserved communities and have not had the voice or the power in past years to really improve their situations as they do. We all deserve to have, and we all have the right to have fresh air, fresh water, clean air. And, so a lot of the companies that are going through Cleantech Open are targeting these communities in order to improve them, make sure that their technologies are not just for wealthy people or wealthy homes, but can be used in many different situations and can become affordable and available to people of all backgrounds and all communities. We love that. That's kind of an added mission, in addition to simply making the environment a cleaner place to live.
Sure. Ken, you've done some amazing things. You're a venture capitalist, angel investor. You've been around Silicon Valley for a long time, that community, broadly speaking. And as you think about all you've done, what do you see as your superpower?
Well, I think I'm not sure I have enough ego to say I have a superpower, but I think, when you get to mid-career, and you start getting a little older as I am, you start to realize what you're good at and what you're not as good at. I try to become better at what I'm not as good at, but one of the things I've learned is that I work well with entrepreneurs. I've been a 5-time entrepreneur myself. But I've also really enjoyed working with other entrepreneurs. And in the last 5 years or so of my career, or actually it started about 10 years ago, I've really wanted to expand the scale of my impact in a positive way. So what I'm good at is starting small companies, getting them to about 20 people and selling them. And I wanted to figure out how could I leverage that skill to help others become successful. When you have your own startup, you're really only impacting yourself and your direct colleagues, and all of your eggs are in one basket. As an angel investor, I could become involved with several companies at a time, but then you're really only investing your own money. And although I've had some success, I'm not rich by any means. I couldn't invest in as many companies as I wanted to, but I actually did get enough means, and through partners and others, co-founded a VC fund here in Santa Monica, California, called Canyon Creek Fund 2. And we invested in 40 companies in around the 2015 to 2017 era. And so for me, I had the opportunity to kind of impact 40 companies in a fund. But still, I thought there was an opportunity to do more. And I was approached by the leaders from Cleantech Open to join Cleantech Open. Here it was, wow, we have 100 to 150 companies a year who where all those entrepreneurs need to improve their skill set and their ability to be successful entrepreneurs. And so now I get to work with, and we require every company to be 2 people. So now I get to work with anywhere from 200 to 300 entrepreneurs a year, all helping them become better entrepreneurs. And so I think if I have any kind of superpower, is perhaps the ability to kind of scale that impact from just focusing on myself or my own startup to really being able to help these other entrepreneurs. At the end of the day, they're doing the work. They're the ones who are be successful. I'm perhaps a bit of I'm a catalyst. I'm a sounding board. I can provide lessons from the trenches, from past wars, so to speak, and create the system and a platform that can help these entrepreneurs learn and become better. So for me, it's all about scalability. I would love to get Cleantech Open to 500 companies a year. There is a lot of innovation out there. There's a massive need for entrepreneurship and innovation in this space. And I don't know, 500 is a lot to deal with. Even 150 a year is a lot. But this is what we're working towards, is how to impact more entrepreneurs, give more people the opportunity to become successful. I want to be sure to add as well that Cleantech Open is a nonprofit organization. We don't take equity or a stake in the companies for going through the program. We do give our national prize as a safe note, and that does have some equity. But for going through the program, for 99% of these companies, they do not give up any equity. So we're not out here trying to make ourselves wealthy. We're here to help those entrepreneurs become better entrepreneurs. And there will be investors that will invest in those companies. They are looking to get rich. That's all good. But we're here to really make the world a better place and make these entrepreneurs successful.
That's fantastic. As you think about your superpower, working with and helping to scale up entrepreneurial businesses, can you think of an example you're particularly proud of, when maybe you brag about at cocktail parties or something?
That's there's a lot of companies I've interacted with, and they're not necessarily household names, which is a challenge. I would love to drop like Microsoft or something like that, so early I was not in those kinds of journeys. But I do appreciate that. In our venture fund, we invested in a company called Where Figs. that now this is right. This is before I joined Cleantech Open, but an example for my partner and I, where we invested in a company called Figs. It created scrubs, basically hospital attire for nurses and others. And they were
They've been on my
women,
show.
Oh, great. Yeah. Two women entrepreneurs are fantastic. And we invested in their company in the early days, and my partner in particular, and we worked with them to help them grow that company. We were, our position was bought out after 18 months or so. And then they went on to ultimately get listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And so, we're really good. And I personally am really good with working in entrepreneurs for a relatively short period during the earliest stages of their company. And at the end of the day, these entrepreneurs will take what they've learned and they will run with it, and they will use their own talents and will gain all the financial benefits that they deserve because of that. Another example is working with an entrepreneur who had a communications company. And, I helped that entrepreneur both with fundraising as well as with being on an advisory board. I sit on a number of advisory boards, and in that sense, have become kind of a sparring partner over the years with these entrepreneurs, where both to help them grow the company, but also in terms of how they might exit the company. In Cleantech Open, we're working with entrepreneurs at the earliest stage. So the kinds of interaction we have, that I have with these entrepreneurs, is about how to do customer discovery, how to create a business model, how to create a financial model, how to build a team, how to grow. And so we have a lot of stories from entrepreneurs that talk about how they positively benefited from those lessons. And every entrepreneur will get a different take out of their participation. For some, they might be very technical founders, but not have much understanding about building a team or how to do a financial model. For others, they're really good at marketing, but their technology needs to do technical validation. And so, my superpower is in creating the playground and the structure where these entrepreneurs can do that learning. They can get connected to the right kinds of mentors. They can get introduced to the right partners that will help them grow and ultimately become successful. So it's I think in some respects I've become a little bit like maybe like a high school principal, in the sense that I have hundreds and hundreds of students. And I work with as many of them as I can, but they're all doing very, very exciting things. And I get a chance to see how they succeed. We actually, on our website, we actually created a hashtag on social media called hashtag CTO Alumni Success. And you can see some of these stories about how entrepreneurs are impacted as they go on to raise investment rounds, as they sell their company or they go public. And I can hardly even keep up with the stories. So we actually created a hashtag as our own, so that we can actually, at a moment's notice, go to the web on Twitter or LinkedIn primarily, and see what kinds of success stories the entrepreneurs are creating for themselves and for the rest of us.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'll be sure to check that out. Ken, as you think about the fundamental elements of, helping entrepreneurs scale and be successful, the superpower of yours, how would you coach other people? You probably do this, right? With your mentors, you probably are coaching them on how to help entrepreneurs. What are the things you teach people to be better support to entrepreneurs?
I think I've been an adjunct instructor in the National Science Foundation's I-Corps program for several years, and that was a program that used a technique of being, challenging and tough on entrepreneurs in terms of telling them how it really is, but yet having a very high empathy and making sure the entrepreneur knows that you, as the mentor, really truly, or an instructor, really truly care about how that entrepreneur does. So, we all know about basketball coaches that, throw the furniture and the kind of the tough love style. This is not that. This is being honest, but also with very high empathy. It's called radical candor. I would really recommend anyone in your audience to read up on radical candor. But that is what I have learned in terms of advising and teaching mentors how to be a good mentor to an entrepreneur is this attitude of be real, tell them how it really is. Don't sugarcoat it because you're not really doing them any favors, but do it from a place of sincerity and empathy, and not just because you're a jerk. Because we've all dealt with those people, and that's not sustainable, and that's not really the way any of us want to work or be treated. So, I try to treat everybody with high level of respect, empathy, and I, really want them to succeed. I think the second thing I teach, and I say this to the entrepreneurs in particular, is it's not how smart you are as an entrepreneur, it's how fast you learn. So, we all think that you have to be a genius, or maybe the conventional wisdom is you have to be a genius to be an entrepreneur. But in this day and age where things happen very quickly and the pace of business, the pace of technological development is very quick, it's those who learn fastest are the ones that are going to be successful. There's another business technique called fail fast. I don't like that word because it connotes failure, and who wants to fail fast? I don't want to keep failing. I'd rather use the term learn fast, which means you're testing, you're trying out new ideas, maybe you're doing iterative campaigns, but the whole point is to learn as fast as possible about what's going to work, whether it's trying to discover a customer segment, trying to discover how a technology is going to get adopted. It's all about learning that as quickly as possible, and ideally based on evidence. So I don't like fail fast. I like learn fast. And maybe I should go write a book about that, or maybe somebody has. But these are lessons that I've learned in a 30-year career that work, and that truly treat people with empathy and respect and sincerity. And I think that's the way I guide my work, and I believe it works in the end. So we'll see.
That's great. Well, Ken, thank you so much for sharing those insights, and thank you for your time today. I'm excited to share this with our audience. There's so much wisdom here, and the work you're doing is so exciting. Before we wrap up, would you just take a minute and tell people how they can learn more? I want you to be thoughtful. Include some coaching on how you might apply to be in the next cohort if you're an entrepreneur. Maybe tell people how they can learn how to become a mentor or to invest in the companies you're seeing. And then, of course, just how to follow you on social media, where to track you down, and then if, when, and how people can reach out to you personally.
Sure. So, regarding Cleantech Open, we do our recruiting for both entrepreneurs and mentors in the January to April timeframe. So, for those that are listening, in that time, we're looking for companies and we're looking for business mentors that would be interested to work with entrepreneurs, either on an ongoing multi-week basis or to participate in business clinics. Maybe you're a financial advisor, or you're a marketing whiz, or whatever your function is, or your experience, even, and especially if you have a general business background. It doesn't even have to be within the climate or clean tech sectors. We would love to have you join Cleantech Open. And as I mentioned earlier, we have about 1,000 mentors, and in any given year, there's about 350 that participate in the program. And we really appreciate that. If they go to our website, cleantechopen.org, they can see information, both if they're an entrepreneur and want to join the accelerator, or if they're a mentor, or if they just want to get involved in other ways as a volunteer in the organization. We're a very grassroots driven organization. And even if they're an investor, We do investor showcases for these entrepreneurs where startups can pitch to investors. And we organize those events a couple times a year. So we are also looking for investors. So we have a whole community. I will mention, and this is a shameless plug, we are sponsored by corporations that are donating through philanthropic donations to support Cleantech Open. Wells Fargo Foundation is our largest premier sponsor nationally. Breakthrough Energy Ventures with their Breakthrough Energy Fellows program is a new sponsor here in 2023. So we appreciate the support from the companies and organizations that do support Cleantech Open.
Fantastic.
So, and
that's a lot to cover, and I appreciate you covering all those bases. And as far as reaching out to you?
Yeah, so people can follow me on LinkedIn if they look for Ken Hayes or Cleantech Open. They can find me on Twitter at Ken Hayes LA for Los Angeles, which is where I'm sitting right now and grew up. And so LinkedIn and Twitter are really the primary channels that I work in. They can find Cleantech Open on both of those channels as well. And so not hard to find. And would be happy to speak to entrepreneurs, mentors, investors in the space.
Fantastic. Well, Ken, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We wish you every success in the great work you're doing to address climate and environmental problems with technology.
Devin, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate the chance to talk to you and your audience.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Thank you for tuning in to the Superpowers for Good show. Twice each week, we host changemakers who share their impact, insights, and superpowers. Don't miss another episode. Subscribe today at superpowersforgood.com. That's superpowers, 4, good.com. Be super empowered. Get your copy of the book, Superpowers for Good, as an ebook, audiobook, paperback, or hardcover edition via your favorite online retailer. Interested in having me speak to your company, organization, or association? Visit devinthorpe.com. Then let's talk. Now, keep using your superpowers for good. Together, we can reverse climate change, improve global health, and eradicate poverty.